Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Danilo from SpotTalking, and today I'm here with Victoria. She's from UK. Sydney, we have a lot of people from different countries, so today we have an opportunity to talk with Victoria from UK. Victoria, can you introduce yourself a little bit?
Okay, hello. My name's Victoria and I'm from the UK. So I have recently moved to Sydney on a working holiday visa, and I think the aim of being in Sydney really is I want to be able to travel and be in a new place, but sort of stay somewhere for longer and potentially long term, but just sort of see how everything goes. Apart from that, so I've travelled quite a bit before, across quite a few places in Europe as well as Southeast Asia. So super excited to be in sort of Australia. It's my first time in Australia, and it's pretty new, pretty exciting, and of course this view is just amazing. So
Yeah, I forgot, but here we have the view. I forgot to say. You have the view, the Opera House, a little bit the city of the Sydney, and behind me you can see a little bit the Harbour Bridge. So a nice view here to enjoy the end of the day. And then, so you are from UK, which city?
So I'm from Bournemouth in the UK. So that's South Coast. It's really nice there. There's so many beaches, a lot of countryside, and then typically I come to Sydney and there's also beaches there. I've been to different parts of the UK though, so I lived in Wales for 4 years too, and then I've travelled to other parts of the UK. So that's where I'm from, in the UK.
That's nice. When you decide to move out from UK?
Okay, so it was about, I'd been wanting to travel for a really long time actually, probably since I was a teenager, and then it was about, say 18 months ago when I was sort of more set on it, because I guess I got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm in the UK, I really want to travel, and then I guess I thought, well, if I don't actually go now, would I ever go, or would I just sort of settle into the same kind of routine and stuff being in the UK? And then I basically got a plane ticket to Croatia, of all places, really lovely place, and I was like, right, I'm going to start travelling and sort of see what happens. And I'd also, I had planned it a little bit better than that, obviously. And that was sort of early July. So it's been almost a year. But how about you? So when did you sort of decide that you wanted to, or you're thinking of leaving your home country to sort of move?
Yeah, so I decided to move to Australia in 2021. It was because I was in Brazil, in my city, Curitiba, and then my sister, she was living here in Australia. She came before me. She came here 2017 or 18, something like this. And then I was the unit, finished my unit, and then I was in the middle of the pandemic, and then I say, why not go to another country? And because in Brazil everyone excited to learn English, because to talk with someone in another country and to improve yourself, to get a good job. And then I have studied in Brazil for a few years English, but I didn't speak too much. My English was very bad there. And then why not go out another countries to improve my English and see what's going there and get a new experience. And then I come to Australia 2023 on June, and then I start with English, and then now I'm doing another course, the Diploma of Project Management, and then I'm here almost 3 years in Australia.
Wow, so quite a long time now that you've been in Sydney.
Yeah.
Out of interest, the pandemic was something that affected everybody, and I feel at least for me, you kind of started thinking about things you wouldn't have thought of otherwise, because it's such a massive change for everybody. So do you feel having sort of experienced the pandemic, it kind of made you sort of think about what you really wanted in like out of life and may have given you the courage to sort of choose to come to like Australia?
No, I don't know. The pandemic changed for many one. This is one question that I have myself. I don't know what the pandemic changed too much for me. I don't like recognize this yet. The pandemic changed this in my life. Of course, in the middle of the pandemic was very bad for everyone, but in my life, I didn't see a significant things that happened with the pandemic after the pandemic. What about you?
Okay, so yeah, I think like as everybody was affected by the pandemic, I was, but at the same time, like it wasn't sort of that bad for me personally, because although it was annoying, say, you know, there are restrictions on like where you could go, who you could mix with and everything. I guess that kind of, you know, made me kind of reflect on like, I don't know, sort of what you can sort of do and like, you know, sort of how lucky, you know, maybe I was, but then also kind of what's important in life. But I think at the time I didn't really think about that. So I think, yeah, it made me think like a little bit, but it wasn't anything kind of, you know, it didn't sort of change anything like huge. And I think that's the thing, because it's like, it wasn't, you know, a great time for everybody and everything, but like it wasn't, you know, I don't think there should be the expectation in like, oh yeah, you know, someone goes through the pandemic, everyone goes through it, we all need to sort of suddenly change, because I don't think, I'm sure that's not the reality, like as you said and like, as I've said. So yeah, I think it was probably more after the pandemic where I was kind of more set on like travelling and stuff. I didn't really think about that as much at the time.
Yeah. So which one is your first country after UK, your trip?
Okay.
Which country was?
So the first country I went to was Croatia, and I think the reason why is
Which one?
Croatia,
okay.
in Europe. I think, to be honest, it was more me going there first as like a holiday, to say it as it is. And it was like, it felt weird because like I'd travelled a little bit like with friends and family before, but then going by myself was a bit sort of scary, like even though I think it's so much more common now, thanks to, I don't know, online communities, it's kind of been normalised quite a bit. And yeah, it was really surprisingly enjoyable because you sort of had that sort of sense of freedom, but then also it's like, well, yeah, if I'm comfortable sort of somewhere new, that can carry on. So yeah, that was the first place. Yeah, how about you? So had you sort of, you know, travelled quite a bit like before sort of settling on Sydney, or was it sort of, did you go sort of straight to Sydney?
Oh yeah, this question is not good for myself. No, I'm joking. Because I don't have many experience. Like my first country that I traveled was in Paraguay, because I did the internship there. I lived there for almost 20 days because when I did the course in Brazil, I was studying agriculture, and then I have in Paraguay a lot of farms there. So I did my internship for 20 days. I was living my friend's house there. So this was my first country after Brazil. And I never traveled in Latin America and other countries. I wanted to visit there, these countries, Colombia, Chile, Peru, Argentina, but I don't have the opportunity yet. So my first trip was to Australia for student visa. Never was like for a holiday to enjoy the country. Never I did this kind of trip. But this is one thing that I have in my bucket list to do, to visit another country for enjoy the country. Know the culture, everything.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel there's sort of so many ways people sort of travel and stuff, and I think it's interesting what you say, like the first trip was for like an internship, because in a way like that's, you know, that is really amazing, like in itself, and I feel it's quite a popular sort of way to like, you know, travel for an internship, travel to study and everything. But then it also shows like, I feel like I've probably taken travelling for pleasure for granted, because like growing up, you know, I wasn't going abroad like every year, but I had been abroad, and I think maybe part of that comes from being in the UK. You're close to so many places in Europe, but then also I think it's like quite a big like privilege to be able to do that as well.
Do you have, like you told before, you have some like, was it scary for you the first time to travel, everything? And why make you scared to do the first trip, to go out alone? Because it was alone, right?
It was, yeah. So I travelled with friends and family before growing up. So like I had some experience just travelling like with others. So I think that gave me some confidence in like travelling like by myself. But like I think the reason I wanted to travel like by myself was because, you know, if you want to sort of spend like a long time somewhere, or if you're interested in, say, I don't know, volunteering or just going to like a lot of places, it's becomes harder to arrange it with friends. Whereas if you're going to like one country, or if you've got friends in another country, then that's like a bit easier. I think I was scared because like there's a bit of, say, stigma sometimes about, say, like travelling on your own, and it's an interesting one because like from my experience most people are neutral. They're like, okay, they don't really care like one way or another, but then I feel there's some people who like really look up to it, and then there's some people who like frown upon it a bit. And then I guess maybe a little bit about being a woman, because it's like there's that sort of stigma and like, oh, why is a woman doing this on their own? Oh, would it be like dangerous and everything? Whereas like, yeah, there's safe and dangerous places. It can so depend on just like where you are and everything. But I also feel like as long as you're aware and you do like research and you know, you don't sort of, you know, you've got a bit of common sense, like realistically, especially given my, you know, British background, I think as a British woman, to say it as it is, I'm quite privileged and therefore more likely to be safe when sort of travelling. I hope that makes sense.
How many countries have you been?
Oh.
Do you know?
That's a good question. I think I'd have to sit here for a few minutes and count. I think I'd say over 10, we'll put it that way. So quite a few. I feel with counting countries though, it's interesting because like I have been to a lot of countries, but I'm sort of in the middle when it comes to country counting, because like I understand why, say, someone who likes to travel would be like, yes, I've been to like X number of countries. But then on the flip side, like I feel you sort of, if you sort of spend longer somewhere, or even if you like just go back to the same country after like a few years, you can kind of experience just as much, if not more, than like, I don't know, spending a couple of days like in each country. Particularly as it gives you time to like adjust to, say, the customs, engage more with like people, say, living there and stuff. So yeah, I've been to quite a few, but also, yeah, it's nice to like experience it on a deeper level. Like we were saying earlier, like you said, you've been in Sydney for 3 years. Do you feel that you've kind of, you know, with working here, interacting with others, making friends and stuff, do you feel that you've got like a stronger understanding of like, you know, Sydney or Australia compared to, say, someone who visits here for like, I don't know, a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think it's different because like when you stay only a couple of weeks, you don't know, like when you stay like more, like I'm 3 years only here, I only get out, I went to Melbourne for a couple of days, maybe 4 weeks there, 1 month. So I know a little bit Sydney, and we can get more involved with some people, more friends, because when I start with school, uh, I met people from the different countries, the same stage of mine, and then we get more close, the relationship, the friendship, and then I think it's different than you come just for like a few weeks on holiday. I think something like this. Did I answer your question? Was
yeah,
like
no,
this.
that was like interesting. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, it shows like if you've been there like a long time, you are going to understand it. You have time to like know other people.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think like even though I've been here a few weeks, I kind of know that I want to stay here longer. I want to like meet more people and everything. Because yeah, you find like I think when traveling, often I get in the habit of say meeting with and like making friends with others who are traveling, rather than people who are like there sort of long term. So
Yeah.
you get like the traveller's experience of a place, which is amazing, but it doesn't compare to like actually being, you know, involved really,
Yeah.
and like understanding the place from a sort of personal point of view rather than just you know, somebody who's just visiting.
Yeah, one thing I feel sad when you like long time in the place, you met people, you have a good friendship, relationship, and people go for your countries, and you, oh my God, my friends go back to his country, so we need to start, not to start, we need to meet another people. A lot of people pass in your life. You meet people, nice people, and just go. It's good because you meet people, but it's sad because it's not close to you, this person anymore. So this thing is a little bit sad. Many people I have met here, and they for many countries, and they move back to the country, and then some is still here, but another one go next month. And, every time you need to make a dinner to say bye, and you don't know when you're gonna see this person again. Maybe never. It's very hard. But this thing is a little bit sad when I think about like almost 3 years here. Many people come, many people go away.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I feel that's kind of similar to travelling as well, because like I've met like people, and then it's like, you know, you always sort of say, oh, it'll be so amazing, you know, to sort of see you again. If I'm ever in like, you know, your country, I'll message you and stuff. And of course, occasionally that can happen, but then it also it is really sad, like when you have to say goodbye. And I feel, in a way, being like actually living somewhere and having like friends go is harder than it just being from travelling, because it's like, yeah, I think that's like the sort of hard part. And yeah, making sort of long-term connections might be like a little bit sort of tricky, because yeah, people come, say Sydney, it's a popular place, right? But then even if it's like on a working holiday, people are unlikely to be there forever. Just out of interest, like how do you sort of manage that with like, you know, friends kind of coming and going and like going back home?
How I manage? I try, because I'm a persistent person. When people go away, I try to keep the contact, but always the contact is gonna like far the time between the mention and something like this, and then someday it's sad to say, but you put another person in the place of this person, and then but you never forget the person. If you are like today, we have the Instagram, social media. If sometimes the person puts one picture, oh, I remember this person. We have these moments together, so you have a good memories with that person.
Of course.
So these things we can do anything. This is the life. So people go and people come and people go away. But it's good. I feel like happy, because if the person is happy the other side, the other country, the other place, I'm happy too. Yeah, I feel like this way. And then I have another question for you.
Okay.
Like you have many countries, like this over than 10 countries. Which one have some countries that you have a bad experience and a good? Which the best experience and a no good? Can you share?
Yeah, I'm more than happy to share. I think, of all places, I had a really good experience in Cambodia. And I don't think that was, I think it was mainly because of the people and because I was there for longer, which helped with that, because I met some really, really, really lovely people there, and I'm still in contact with a good friend, and I'm hoping to visit there genuinely again, because yeah, it's lovely to sort of stay in touch with like people. I'd say there's no places where I've had like a bad experience, although I think my worst experience travelling has been when I've been somewhere that's quite touristy during tourist season. There have been moments where I've not felt safe, and it's not even like, say, the local population. Often it's like other tourists, and I think I think it was just sort of luck, really. Like occasionally that's just going to happen, and yeah, I think they were like my worst experiences. But like, say, like Sydney's quite popular. There's a lot of tourists, and there's not been any like moments where I've not felt safe. But I think it was just, I happened to be just unlucky, like when that happened.
Yeah. So. And which of these countries do you wanna go back, or all the countries, or you have one specific that I need to come back to visit this country because I didn't visit the place that I want to visit? Do you have any country?
Okay, so I've got two. So one again would be Cambodia, because there are parts of it that I didn't visit that I really want to see, and then there's things that I wanted to do which I didn't, and yeah. And then the other place would be Albania. Because I was only there actually for a couple of days. It was so pretty, and yeah, it was probably in terms of nature, the nicest place that I visited. And then like the history and culture is really interesting as well. So yeah, I think Albania, Cambodia, but I wouldn't say no to going back to any of those countries that I've been to be honest. So
what about the food?
Okay.
How is many different kind of foods? You start in Europe and come to Asia, now Australia.
So that's interesting, because I'd say my favourite cuisine or food would be probably Mediterranean. Like the gelato, so good. The different kind of like meals, just yeah, really, really lovely. Greek food particularly is really good. I think as well, I'm almost vegetarian, but I'm like not perfect. So yeah, going some places as a vegetarian is really easy, but sometimes it's not as easy, to be honest. Australia, it's pretty good. Like there's so many sort of different like cuisines and like things to eat, vegetarian places. Yeah, I think sometimes like, yeah, in some places it's been a little bit more challenging, which is why part of the reason why I'm a bit sort of flexible with it. But how about you though? Because I'm guessing food again is like really different in Brazil. So how did you find like that change?
Oh yeah, for me it didn't change too much because I make my food. So I go to the supermarket here and I buy the Brazil. The base of the food is rice and beans and meat. This is the base, and then a salad, everything. But here, sometimes I like to go out to enjoy the another cuisine, like the another countries. And this is the one thing they like to do here, to like go to Thailand, to China restaurants, to know the food, to meet. But for me, it didn't change too much because I cook for myself. So yeah, I don't have, and then I try to make the same thing that I used to do to eat in Brazil. I try, of course, some kind of how can I say the expression, the thing that you put in the food to change the taste. What's the name of that?
Like seasonings?
Seasonings.
I think so, like salt, pepper, herbs.
Yeah. These ones. This kind is sometimes different to hard. It's hard to find here, but I try to do the same thing that I used to do in Brazil to have my food, my Brazilian food, myself every day.
No, it's more than understandable because, like, I think what's nice about Australia is there's restaurants to cater for everyone, and then like supermarkets.
Yeah.
Not perfect, but you can pretty much get like what you like there. I'm the same in Australia. Like, yeah, sometimes I would go out, but normally I make food and I just go to supermarkets.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons. So yeah, it's quite. I think what I eat in Australia is very similar to how I used to eat in the UK. But then like places like sort of Thailand, say Southeast Asia generally, because for me, it's going out is a lot more like affordable there because of like currency and stuff. So it's like if I'm there, I'll try and eat out and say support, sort of local vendors and stuff. But then, yeah, in Australia, it's like back to reality in a way.
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah, normally the supermarket.
Yeah, here I tried many kinds. The Lebanese food, I liked a lot. The Turkish food is because I think it's the Mediterranean, all right? So Lebanese, Turkish is very good too. And Thailand food, I like it too, they eat. Because I have some friends from usually the Asian cuisine, I like to go with some friends from Asian. Like the Thailand, I have some friends from Thai. I used to go with my friends because they know, they recommend which one is good. And then I like that one. If I go to prepare myself, I don't know how to choose the correct food, and then maybe it's not a good experience. But I like to do when I go to somewhere to take some friends, to invite some friends to that country and go with me, and we enjoy the moment together.
Of course, though, I think that's really good because it's like I sort of saying like if you're in another country, you sort of ask like somebody who lives there for the best things to do, the best sort of tips and stuff. And like I feel in Sydney there's quite a big like international community. So did you find that like it's sort of beneficial to like connect with people from different parts of the world, so then you sort of like learn more, and it's just interesting to like meet like a range of people?
Yeah, I like I don't know about the other countries, but here is good because like when you take a train, you listen at least 5 kind of language every day. So I never have this experience in Brazil. People only speak in Portuguese in the bus and the train, everything. And here I have friends from many countries, so we share the experience, we talk, sometimes we don't understand each other, but it's okay. And I like here like meet a lot of people, different countries, and you start to understand more the person, the word, because from different parts of the world. So this maybe some joke you can do for that people is offense, something like this. You need to take care of how do you say some words, and it will be more like not polite, but you'll be more like understandable with the other person.
Of course.
Yeah, and we can. Oh yeah, this is not good, so it's okay. I understand you, something like this. Yeah, I like this kind of things that happen here in Sydney. I'm happy because I'm very friendly. So I do friends, whatever I go in my job, in my school, and sometimes the streets. We start to talk, and it's good.
No, that's really good. And like, I think it's so good to like be quite like open-minded and like, friendly and outgoing. Because like, yeah, a lot of people sort of say it's harder to meet people in Sydney, or like it's a sort of cold city and stuff. And it's interesting because like, yeah, from say, I think in the UK, or like in parts of the UK, it's quite similar, and like sort of here like people mind their own business and stuff. And like I feel in say in like Southeast Asia, it was really different. Like people were more sort of friendly, and I think it's like a cultural difference. But then, yeah, I think it's nice to like be you know, open to like different people and like different perspectives. And out of interest, like, do you feel you've learned a lot, like, just from like chatting to and like making friends with like, you know, people from like a wide range of backgrounds?
Yeah, I think, yeah, because we was in the same situation like students, so it was easy
Of course.
to do the friend. Everyone was like, someone's come alone, another one with some friends, but everyone was like in the same stage of the life in Australia, starting here, so it was easy for us. I think that was. What about you?
So yeah, it's been like a little bit easy, and then also it's still sort of taking time because it's like, obviously I've not been here that long, but also there are a lot of people on, say, like working holiday visas, or people who aren't from Sydney originally, and like I have found that, you know, if you sort of put yourself out there and stuff, it's easy to like connect with people who aren't from Sydney. And I think too, like, a lot of people are like literally in the same boat. Like, they've recently moved, so they're more sort of open to meeting new people and like chatting with new people. And I think that's what's really nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's sometimes I'm quite like laid back, but also I think I'm one of these people. I'm like, I sometimes think that, you know, I should make more of an effort, and I think that's something sort of going forward. And that was, yeah, to be kind of honest, but also it's quite like,
We need to put us in the position, like out. We need to don't be shy to meet people, because when we are like overseas, we have the first thing is the language. We start to think, oh, I'm shy, I don't know English, something like that. Doesn't matter. You need to put you in the bad position to know, to start to meet people and to learn and to improve yourself. I think this is the best way to meet people, to improve yourself, and to live your life in another country. Because otherwise you'll be alone with only your like small friendship. No, you need to put yourself in a different position to know more people. I think
Of
this
course.
is the thing that I always put myself in different position to learn more and to improve more and to meet more people, and that's it.
of course, so that's yeah, I definitely agree. And I think it's a little bit different being in a new country for like a longer period compared to like with traveling, because like I feel with traveling it can be really easy to like meet people, because like, especially like if you stay in hostels, you can like sit in the common area. The hostels have like events. If you stay in dorms, you often end up like making friends with people who are in the same dorm. At the same time with travelling though, like you were saying earlier, it's quite like come and go. Even like in Sydney, it's even more come and go normally when travelling, because like, say you'll meet someone like in a dorm and then a couple of days later you're leaving or they're leaving. So it's so easy to meet people. But then I think sometimes, like in my experience, I've met people and we've, you know, had like really good, meaningful conversations and like really good connections and friendships have happened, and you know, we're like still in touch. But then in other cases, I've met people, you know, we hang out, it's like nice to chat and stuff, but then it's a bit tricky because one, you know, we're not in the same place for that long, and sometimes it can feel a little bit surface level simply because there's not that time to sort of keep seeing them. So I think again, being abroad for longer is like quite different. I think like so far, it's like, for me, the sort of mindset I'm having is like keep putting yourself out there and keep like, you know, trying, because it will happen when it's supposed to. Because like, say like I've been to like, you know, a few events which have been made for like, you know, newbies, dare I say, to like meet other people. And yeah, it's great. Like you chat to people like in those, you know, at the events and stuff.
Yeah.
But then sometimes it's like when you're going to see like them again. But then a couple of friendships have come from that as well. So it just goes to show, like, yeah, not everyone I chat to is going to be a friend, but you know, it can happen, and it's like
Yeah.
staying in touch. And yeah, I think it's just like the mindset of like keep trying and yeah, not sort of worry too much about, you know, what people think or things going wrong, because like yeah, there's going to be good things
Yeah.
that come from it basically.
I have a question for you. Can help me and another person that want to do a trip, because I have an experience. Which advice you can give to someone to want to go to travel alone?
Okay, so I think a lot of it depends on like your personality. I think because you're like, you know, you're quite sort of people orientated. The first thing I'd say is stay in a hostel, because hostels are social environments. Like people often, you know, normally people will go there to meet people.
Yeah.
And a lot of people stay in hostels alone as well. And then if it doesn't like work from like just being in hostel, a lot of them have like events. So they might have like workshops or like even like a pub crawl or something. You meet people at those sort of things too. And then you can sort of like, they have a chat, so you can like put on the chat like, hi, I'm getting here, I'm interested in this, it would be lovely to meet people, and like just sort of do it that way. And then also I'd say do the things you're interested in when alone, rather than necessarily all of the sort of touristy things, because then you kind of get more out of it, like whether you're with people or whether you're alone. Doing what's genuinely exciting for you is probably a better way to experience a place than just going to all the tourist sites, because everyone's sort of said just go to the tourist sites. Like,
And how do you organize your trip? How do you choose? Why not go this country now? How do you plan this?
okay, so good question. I think when I was the first, like in Europe, I did like a little like group trip, sort of between sort of travelling, and I kind of planned it around. So I had like some family friends who were going to be in Greece, so it made sense to, you know, go Croatia first, and then yeah, the group trip was like Croatian and it ended in Greece, so that made sense. And then that was near Turkey, because I met some friends in Turkey afterwards, and then because I was volunteering in Indonesia afterwards, it was like, well, the distance between Turkey and Indonesia is not as big as say between like the UK or Indonesia, so often it's distance. And then also accommodation wise, I tend to go on like Hostel World for that, because often it's a lot more affordable, and I'd also argue sustainable than staying in like a hotel, because if you're sharing like a room, it's, yeah, you don't pay as much, but then also like people don't take as long the showers, and people just generally share sort of more things, so it's probably better for the environment and stuff, right?
That's nice, interesting. Yeah, because when you travel a lot, you need to organize like where I go, because like you go to Cambodia, have you been to Thailand?
Bangkok, yeah. Thailand.
Yeah, how, because these countries have many tourist places. How do I choose this one? Or because you cannot visit everything at the same time, like all the country. So we need to choose one part of the country to visit. Like you need to make a hard decision. I go there, but I should go here or go here. No, and then you need to look like this one is more affordable. Everything's have more things to do. That's good.
Yeah, so like I often go for cities just because there's more sort of to do normally. It's more likely that there's going to be more people, more sort of facilities for travellers, so in a way that's more like accessible. And then, like, I'm probably not the best at planning normally. So, like, often, like when I chose Sydney, I was literally like, oh, I want to go to Australia. And then it was like, well, you know, I want to go to the Gold Coast, I want to go to Melbourne. Oh, Sydney happens to be in between and it's a city. And that was literally my brain when like I decided to stay in Sydney. And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I think it's a thing I'd say to any traveller, please plan a bit, because like there are things like, say, safety, distance, and like, you know, money, sort of sustainability to factor in. But also don't stress too much about planning, because it's like each experience, each place is different but still really worthwhile. Otherwise, like, you know, you could sort of spend like hours on end thinking of like where to go.
Some things happen here. I don't know what's happened, but let me see, maybe I can share what's happened. Where? Someone asking the propose.
Oh my goodness.
Let me show.
That was sweet but unexpected.
Yeah, that's what nice. Was a proposal here. I think she say yes because he's happy. So
They both look very happy.
yeah, both are happy, so it's okay.
Yeah. Imagine if she'd said no at this point.
Okay, and then for like you come to Australia now with work holiday visa,
Yeah.
and what is your plan? You stay for how long here, and then where is your next country?
Okay, so at the moment, a lot of it really depends because, on how I find like life in Sydney. Really, I'd say it's too early to like have a really clear plan. I do want to I want to use up my working holiday visa. So like for a while, I think my main base will be, you know, Sydney, and then just go to the UK when I need to go to the UK, basically. I think so. I've got sort of two ideas in mind. So if everything goes really well in Sydney, including, say, like community, friendship and work, part of me just really wants to stay here, but then it is early days. Another like thing I've thought about is, I mean, I've travelled around Europe, Southeast Asia, considering travelling around South America at some point, because so many beautiful places to see. And then there is also the option of like spending like a month or two in like one place and then volunteering for free accommodation. So that's also something that I've like thought about. But yeah, so I've kind of got a couple of ideas, but no real plan, to be honest.
That's good. Yeah, you are only started here now. Do your work holiday. You can, but now you work holiday. You are looking for what kind of job?
Okay, so I'm looking for work in content creation / marketing. Like, I genuinely enjoy that, and I do like writing. I've been quite lucky in the sense that, you know, a couple of people are like getting back to me. I'd say it is all at this point been like casual / freelance, and yeah, that's just if someone else is thinking of coming to Sydney with sort of similar sort of plan, I think getting somewhere sort of full time that pays amazing might be tricky at first for a lot of working holiday visa people. So like, I'd say like don't take like the first thing if you look at the job and it looks really awful and you don't see yourself doing it. So like, be ambitious, but also accept like at the beginning it's also just about getting sort of something that can give you experience working within like Australia, basically.
With advice you can give to someone who wanna go to another country, work for a trip, for work holiday, what you can you say for this person, the young person? I don't know, you start with 18 to move out from your house.
Okay.
There's another Victoria there in UK with 17 years. She wanna go out. Which advice you can give for this?
Okay, so I mean, I started traveling like by myself at 22. I'm 23 now, but yeah, there's so many 18-year-olds these days who, like, you know, it's the first thing they do when they turn 18. They literally go and travel, or they move abroad, and it's amazing. I think so. Like when it comes to travel, just like be sort of confident. Stay in, you know, places where other travellers go to, because then it's easier to find community, and then you're also like a bit safer as well. But have confidence in yourself, and then also, like, easier said than done, but like listen to your gut as well, or like your intuition, because yeah, there's might be people who might disagree with like the decision to travel because they're sort of, but you know, if you're doing what feels right for you at the time, then that's the best decision you can be making. If you're thinking of moving to another country, be it for like, you know, say like a working holiday, again, also there's quite a few birds and someone chasing them a little bit in the background, just for context.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, if you're moving to a new country, again, like, have that confidence. Keep in touch with like people, you know, this is for travelling and, you know, moving. Keep in touch with people you're close with at home, because, you know, especially like when you're settling in and stuff, it's important to like remember past connections, but then make space for like new people, make space for like the fact that you're going to grow and like develop, because yeah, I think everybody grows so much and changes so much, like, you know, 18, 19 and 20s and older as well, and yeah, it's just having sort of that balance really. Now I've got a question for you. What advice would you give somebody who's going to a new country? It can include like, say, Sydney, so like, you know, sort of a younger version of yourself, in regards to, say, settling in, or even in regards to like, say, confidence, or like navigating, I guess, like language barriers and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I recommend, if you have something to... I have one that I regret in my life. When I was like more youngest, to do something like you have done when you are young, to go to country like the backpacker, you say, like do this, go away, visit different countries in like take 1, 2 months, 3 months in your life, and like in Latin America, South America, I don't know nothing there, and I should have done this one there, visit the countries to have this experience. I don't have, but now I want to do this one. But if you want to do something like go to another country, if like I come to Australia to improve my English and everything, and when I come here, my English was so bad. I couldn't ask one coffee in the cafe, and then now I can get a coffee. But I doesn't matter. I say I want the coffee, and I say I want a coffee. I ask to the lady, and she asked me what, and then when the person asks you again, I say I did it wrong, so I need to change, and I changed the way that I said I want a coffee, and she asked me again what, and I say I want the same because the other lady asked a coffee. And I say, I want the same, that one. And she gave me, I don't know which coffee is. She only gave me the coffee, and I drank that coffee. But I did. I don't care if she was, that guy doesn't know English. That guy, I say, I did, now I can ask a coffee, and I can ask another things. And then I say, one advice that I can give is, of course, you need to improve yourself, to be confident, you spend money. You need to have some money for it to go to some country. But if you want to go, be safe, always. Doesn't matter where you go, you need to be safe everywhere. Every country have the good things, bad things, so we need to be aware of these things. And then just go, enjoy your life. We need to do this because we we only die one time. We live every day, but we need to live good, the good way.
No, I really, really like that, and like, yeah, so true. I think one thing like with say like, you know, being say English, it's weird in a way because like I'll travel say to Thailand or Indonesia or somewhere for example, and most like I'll go and order a coffee and I'll say, can I have coffee in English? And then I'm immediately understood, even though it's like their sort of second language normally. And it's kind of feels, yeah, it's like there's fewer barriers, I guess, to travelling. Like, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like, say, for some, I don't know, for like an English person going to Australia, it's a bit easier, or there's less sort of obstacles in the way compared to like, you know, different circumstances, or do you feel, yeah?
No, about the English. Now, for myself, of course, we have a lot of technology. We can help us to talk. I could use the translator, the things, but I think I only use the phone to search and show the picture if I want something. Now, I still have many things to learn, but and then I search this one, I show the picture, I want this one. Where can I find these things? And then I use this kind. But always I try to put myself in, to try it first, and then after I use the technology to help me. Of course, the language is a barrier. This is the pronunciation. Barrier, the obstacle. The language is an obstacle for you. All right? I think this is the word. But we need to pass this moment, and one day you get more confident with the language. I don't know. Did I answer your question?
You did, yeah. And I think like in a way that's kind of motivated me a bit more to make more of an effort if I'm, say, visiting another country. Because like, yeah, it'd be nice to be able to know a bit more of another language, particularly to be able to like have a good, you know, just be able to communicate a bit more with like, say, people who, you know, are from the place. And yeah, I think like, yeah, it's good to sort of you know, just keep like going with it. And
I think one thing that because like English is a language that's most popular in the world, most of the country speak language. At least some people speak English in the country. Like if I go to some country in Australia, example, in Asia, start to speak Portuguese, probably they don't know anything Portuguese. It's very hard to find. But if I at least speak a little bit English, this person answer me, because maybe this place, a lot of people go there to this place, so they speak English. So these people is more familiar with the English. And if I start to speak Portuguese, probably they don't understand me. If I start to ask a coffee, can I have a coffee in Portuguese? Você pode me dar café? If I say this one for someone in Asian, in Chinese, in Korea, probably they don't understand. But if I ask, can I have a coffee? If he doesn't speak English, probably he can try to understand coffee and something like this. Oh, he want a coffee? Yes. Make it easy, I think. But yeah, when we speak English, there is another word. It's another, open a lot of doors for you. It's totally different. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I guess, as someone with English as my first language, it's feel kind of lucky, I guess, because like, yeah, it's just easy to like travel, speak English, like pretty much wherever I go. And I think it's like something that, you know, I'm sure like you were aware, like when you went to like Australia, of like the difference, whereas like, you know, normally it's not sort of something for, you know, people who've got English as their first language sort of actively have to think about as much, really. I'd say like, I think one really good thing though about the internet. I mean, there's a lot of bad things about it, but I think it has just made travelling and like communicating
Yeah.
so much easier in like so many ways.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, it was good to be here today with Victoria to share her experience. I could share a little bit about my life experience, and that's the way of spot talking. We try to go to some new spot to show a nice view. You can understand sometimes we have the airplane pass here, the helicopters, the boats here, so make noise. We have the birds, the bush turkey was here. I don't know if you can see in the video. We have some proposal here, was very nice, very kind moment. So this is the idea of Spot Talk, to share the histories, to show our views, and enjoy the life.
That's great, I think.
Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you. Thank you.